Salutations, fam. This is Arim from Haltessiagaming, and here we go. We got ourselves another updated Fusion control deck profile. Yeah. Purple card's good. Purple card's good. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, gonna hop right into the deck profile. I'm gonna, talk a bit about the card choices a little bit, but most of the theory, it was already covered in my, I think the video, my last video, it's like a deck building video where I actually talk about some of the process going into me building this particular deck list. There have been some changes since that video, but it's I'll talk about those a little bit. But if you want to hear the full theory behind the idea of the deck, you should watch that video. It's 20 minutes long. But to start things off, we got triple copies of the star of the deck, big old vanilla turbo, triple copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon, 2 copies of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. The card is very, very strong. It performed very, very well. Honestly, I'm thinking about bumping this up to 3 copies because I want to see this in my hand. I don't care if I see multiples, and honestly, I'm kind of trying to see multiples of this. Being able to see multiples of this and then just have that loop in rotation. If you have 2 of this in rotation, it's so strong. Honestly, it's kind of strong for a similar reason that DP is strong, is that it just keeps coming back. And that's really strong. But yeah, bumping the vanilla up to 3 was really, really good. It performed very well. Bumping, well, I'm still playing. I was already playing 2 Jet, but I kind of want to bump that up to 3 as well. Moving on, we got triple copies of the White Stone of Ancients. I bumped this up from 2 to 3, and I haven't regretted it. Honestly, I think that might be the ratio in future iterations of the deck. Is just 3-3-3. And moving on to the last monster card in the deck, we have 1 copy of Ecclesia for your Dogmatica engine. It's just, just a good card to have. Helps you get access to more of your stuff. I'll talk a bit more about it, but this is kind of just the engine requiring you play to play the other stuff. So moving on to the spells, we have triple copies of Pot of Greed, aka Pot of Extravagance. Yeah, drawing 2 cards, very, very good. Especially in a deck where you have boss monsters in the main deck. Yeah, you just trying to draw 2 cards. Then we have 2 copies of Fusion Deployment. This card performed very well. I mentioned this in the other video, but having that extra access to your engine is just, it's really good. That's something I really liked. I did end up enjoying the changes that I talked about in that video. Fusion Deployment just says special Blue Eyes from the deck. You're primarily a Fusion deck anyway, so that restriction does not matter. And then the 1 copy of Bingo Machine Go, playing 1 copy of this, really, really, really made such a difference, because having it be that 4th copy of everything, it just made everything flow so much better together. Being able to go end phase, set bingo, or even on my turn, being able to go set bingo and then activate it and then get an ultimate fusion is just really, really strong. Being able to, have this extra copy of True Light, extra copies of Jet, extra copies of the Vanilla. It really did kind of tie it together and being that upstart goblin for your engine. And then we have 2 copies of Nadir Servant. So yeah, this card's very, very good. So the idea with this card is that this helps you get access to your engine a lot quicker. It just helps up the speed of the deck while still maintaining the similar kind of idea of the deck, right? It's just you're still playing the same kind of strategy, but this just kind of speeds it up a little bit. And then we have triple copies of Dragon Ravine. I got asked why I'm playing this over Dragon Shrine, and the reason is because Ravine is a field spell. The thing about Ravine is the fact that once I have 1 Ravine, I always have access to Blue Eyes. Turn after turn, I will be able to activate Ravine, send my cards, and get access to Blue Eyes again. So it's that's why I'm playing Ravine over Dragon Shrine. Also, by the way, Ravine's not once per turn, so if you open double Ravine, you can activate both of them and send 2 stones. So yeah, that's pretty good. And then we have triple copies of Ultimate Fusion. Yeah, being able to go into your fusion is really, really good. You got some strong boss monsters now. And honestly, I think that's probably why I've been playing the fusion control build over the combo build a lot more. Because I'm going to be real. It's just, I like that my boss monsters are actually Blue Eyes monsters. You know? What's the joke about like combo Blue Eyes deck? Where are the Blue Eyes monsters? They're in the grave. Well, in this deck, you actually summon them. So like, that's pretty cool. I enjoy having my boss monsters be Blue Eyes monsters. Then we have 2 copies of Dino Miscus. I'm going to be real. I'm not really sure what I want this slot to be, but I want it to have just like another trap card. I was originally messing around with like the Destined Rivals and like the Ultimate Creature of Destruction, but I didn't feel like I needed more stuff that was dependent on Blue Eyes because like I kind of already have that covered. And I just wanted like another trap to reset off of Tyrant. And this is just like one of the best like standalone traps, I guess. I don't own Ice Dragon's Prison. D-Bear is more of a side card. I don't like Derby because again, I'm trying to have stuff that doesn't require me to have my engine in rotation. I just want more stuff that's just like standalone good stuff. There's a bunch of different stuff I've been considering, but right now I'm playing Dino Miscus, and I mean I do like it because that targeting banish is pretty good. And then we have 2 copies of Dogmatica Punishment. So Punishment is just a standalone trap card. I was playing this in the deck even before I was playing like the Dogmatica cards. But now with that small Dogmatica engine of the 2 Nadirs and the 1 Ecclesia, now I have a card that like, you know, just speeds up the process so much. Being able to get like monster presence alongside getting access to a powerful trap card is just really good. And like again, you don't really care about like losing access to your extra deck for a turn because you have boss monsters in the main deck. And one of the things I actually didn't really consider originally when putting this deck together is just how much of the synergy you have with like the Dogmatica cards and like the Blue Eyes engine, because like being able to go like Nadir's, then Entis, Trigger Jet, Special Jet, right? Like Nadir, like, and then like Punishment do the same thing. It's just like there's so many like little interaction where it's just like it just flows so well together. And I'll talk about it a bit more when I get to the extra deck. And then we've got triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. So in this version of the deck, I'm not playing Valor because, you know, I'm not playing Sage. And like the idea behind this deck is like you play powerful trap cards and you just keep recycling those trap cards with Tyrant Dragon. Imperm being a powerful trap card that you can recycle with Tyrant Dragon, that gives it a lot more value over something like Valor. Because, you know, in this version of the deck, you know, you want to reset your actual like trap cards. And you don't just play this because of the hand trap. You play it because specifically it is a powerful trap card. Moving on, we got triple copies of True Light. Yeah, this is one of the things about the deck. It's just everything's just so like everything just keeps coming back basically. So it's like in a lot of my matches, I just kind of like traded resources with them until they ran out of gas, but because my stuff just keeps coming back, they just cannot keep up, and they eventually get snowballed out of the game because they just run out of resources. And then we have we return to Monkey. We're playing triple copies of Gozen Match and the 1 skill drain. Yeah, like I mean that DT reprint's almost here. I'm waiting for it so I can pick up my other copies of skill drain because I definitely want more skill drains. But, you know, Gozen's not bad. It's definitely still a really good card, but, like, I want Skill Drain. It's just so much better. Yeah, you know, everything performed well in that regard. And then the last 3 cards in the deck, we have triple copies of Fists of the Unrivaled Tennie. This is your counter trap. You use this to, like, you know, I mean, it's an Omni-Negate counter trap if you have a Blue Eyes White Dragon on board. If you have a non-effect monster on board, this is just an Omni-Negate. If it gets popped, it summons Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon from the extra deck, which then turns on other copies of the counter trap. One of the things I like about this is that, let's say I'm going second against like a DPE, I can actually just, like, let's say I open 3 of this against DPE. I can just set 3 copies of this. They're going to pop one, summon the Ultimate Dragon, and then the other 2 are just live. So yeah, that's going to be it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. It's a lot of 3-0s because, you know, I'm playing Extrav. triple copies of Link Karibo. So I actually didn't make Link Karibo today. I found that like I was getting access to Blue Eyes without needing to do this. So I obviously do still want to keep it in the extra deck because, you know, you want maximum consistency. But it's just I didn't need it, you know. I was typically seeing the Dragon Ravine or the Fusion Deployment or like True Light plus Blue Eyes with the Bingo. It's just like I wasn't having trouble getting a Blue Eyes on board. But yeah, I still want to have the Link Karibos in there because sometimes you do need to normal stone and link it off for Link Karibo. And like, you know, this functions under skill drain, so that's pretty good. 2 copies of Wind Pegasus Ad Ignister. Just, you know, actually, you play a lot of punishment targets, so this is one of them. You know, if they pop a card, you get to, you know, shuffle a card back. And also, you're typically going to be like, activate Jet, activate Wind Pegasus, and then like special Jet, shuffle a card back. It's so silly. And then we have the 2 copies of Elder Entity Entis. Yeah, get that double pop-up punishment, being able to pop cards with Nadir. And then we have 1 copy of Predaplant Chimera Felicia. Oh my gosh, the Invoke Dogmatica should all matchup is so funny if they go first. So I had a guy Maximus me, and I was just like, cool, send Entis Rafflesia. And then I was like, Entis target Mechabus, so he had to like pitch the Alistair that he just added back to like stop the Entis from like resolving. And then on my turn, I just get to search the Ultimate Fusion. Like it's so strong. And then in addition to this, you also play a copy of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon as another punishment target. So the idea with this card is that if they target a Blue Eyes monster with a card effect, you can just negate and destroy it. So that's pretty good. So as you see, I'm playing, what is this, 5 punishment targets? So it's like you typically have enough stuff to like resolve Nadir, resolve punishment. So it's like that's usually not a problem. And then we have the 1 copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon to summon off the counter trap. I actually summoned this like normally. So I extrav twice, and I banished all my copies of Tyrant Dragon. And I think my extra deck was like Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon, and Elder Entity Entis. And I was like, well, I do have the counter trap, so I fusioned into Ultimate Dragon so that the counter trap would be live. And I was just like poking with this. And like he couldn't droplet this because it's not an effect monster. Oh man. Speaking of Alternative Ultimate, I played 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. This card is exceptionally strong. Can't be targeted destroyed by card effects. You get to pop cards with it. It's 4,500. The card's really good. I never actually did end up making it because like the one time I could make this, I ended up just summoning this instead. But it's just like, this card, I like even if I didn't play it, like summon it today, like, you know, I already know how strong this is. I can't tell you how many control matches where you just summon this and it's just like, GG's, I guess. And then lastly, we have the triple copies of the boss monster of the deck, Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. This card is just so stupid, man. Like, it being unaffected by trap cards is so dumb because now all of a sudden all of your powerful trap cards are just like one-sided and you can just keep resetting them. Yeah, and you know, now I've talked about like, you know, going through the extra deck, one of the things that, you know, has like all the synergies between like the Dogmatica cards and the Blue Eyes cards is the fact that like, so I can do things like go Entis, you know, I can go like Nadir, send the Neo Blue Eyes to search Ecclesia, get a punishment, and then have like Tyrant, fuse into Tyrant on my opponent's turn, and then like, you know, reset punishment over and over again, reset my, like, it's so dumb. And the fact that this attacks everything, so it's just like, you just keep resetting your traps and everything like that. And like, just that ability of having like both engines synergizing with each other like that. Tyrant resetting your punishment, Nadir getting access to your Blue Eyes cards, because like, you know, being able to punishment on the opponent's turn. So let's say I punishment on my opponent's turn, send Rafflesia, I'll search the Ultimate Fusion on my turn, be able to set it on my turn, and then fusion during the opponent's turn. You know, like that's pretty good. And And it's just like you have all that synergy between the two engines. And it's like I'm not playing like, you know, a full-on Dogmatica package. I'm not playing like Floor and Maximus or anything. And I'm only playing one Ecclesia. But it's just like the fact that they have that synergy between each other is something that I did not expect. I really didn't expect it to like flow together as much as it did. And it's just like I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's going to be it for the extra deck. Moving on to the side deck. You already know what the first card is. It's always going to be Pankratops until this card eventually gets banned. But, I mean, honestly, I don't think this is going to get banned. I think probably what will happen is they'll just, like, bring it back to... they're not bringing it back to 3. They're not going to make that mistake. But, well, actually, they might, because they definitely brought Raigeki back to 3, so who knows. But, yeah, we got the 1 Pank. Triple copies of the Big Rock. Triple copies of Artifact Lancia. Triple copies of Lightning Storm. Triple copy, no, not triple copies, but double copies of Dimensional Barrier. Yeah, this is really stupid in this deck. Flip D-Bearer, call their mechanic, attack them with Tyrant, reset D-Bearer. Yeah, you're never playing. GG's. And then lastly, we got triple copies of Evenly Matched. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck. Real quick, I'm going to talk about like the siding mentality. So obviously, like you have your trap cards and such. Typically, going second, I'm siding out like the floodgates and the counter trap because I'm going second, and I'll side in my going second cards. When I'm going first, I side in like, you know, side that stuff back in. Yeah, it's like if I'm playing against like back row, I'm gonna side in like the Evenlies, the Lightning Storms. If I'm playing against like, you know, siding going first, I'll probably side in like the D barriers, depending on the matchup. I might side in like the Nibs, the Lancias, depending on the matchup. And realistically, it's just like I'm usually siding in like 6s. Usually, I usually side in like 6 or 7, because I'm playing like the 3 floodgates, well 4 floodgates, the triple counter trap, and sometimes, you know, I will side out like the Dino Miscus, and, you know, side 9 instead, because sometimes you just need to side really heavy. But yeah, I'm enjoying the deck. I like being able to summon actual Blue Eyes monsters and like just punch people with them. But yeah, like I really want to try out 3 Jet. That card's really silly. I'm not sure what I'm going to end up cutting from the deck though, but let's just like, I'm definitely going to try out 3 Jet next time. But anyway, this has been Darkslayer Arim from Haltessiagaming. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.